longer find. And
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. Today's video is going to be a fun one because it is a Wednesday, so that means it's time for another weekly Top 10 countdown. But this one actually comes to us via a request from my good friend Eric. And he actually requested this right after I posted last Wednesday's Top 10 video. And it's going to be a fun one because it's going to bring back my childhood. And I know I've mentioned on the channel here before that I'm a huge fan of nostalgia. And I love anything that reminds me of the good old days, as they say, or back when I was growing up. So today's countdown is going to be a nostalgic type countdown, so it's going to be a fun one, but it's actually top 10 all-time most popular regular Nintendo games. Now, when Eric messaged me, he said Nintendo, so I made sure that I messaged him back and said regular Nintendo to make sure we were on the same page. And everybody does call it regular Nintendo, but the actual correct name for it is Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES. And of course, it's not the very first, but one of the very first video game consoles that ever came out. And it was actually just voted the best console game of all time. And the reason why it takes me back to my childhood is because I actually owned one of these when I was probably 6 or 7 years old. So thinking about it and talking about it reminds me of when I was growing up. So if you have a NES, or as we like to call it, regular Nintendo, please feel free to let me know. Or if you know somebody that has one, please feel free to let me know. If you've played any of these games, and I'm sure there will be some on here that we've all played, please feel free to let me know. I actually found about 4 or 5 different top 10s that had their own particular opinion of top 10 best all-time NES video games. But the one I'm going to use is IGN.com, which IGN, if you don't know, it stands for Imagine Games Network. So they're known for video games and things like that. So I figured that would be the best one to use. So without further ado, here's top 10 all-time most popular regular Nintendo games. Number 10 came out in 1989, DuckTales. Number 9 came out in 1988, Bionic Commando. Number 8, Dragon Warrior from 1989. Number 7, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out from 1987. And number 6, Metroid, which also came out in 1987. Before we crack the top 5, we'll recap 10 through 6 real quick. Number 10, DuckTales. Number 9, Bionic Commando. Number 8, Dragon Warrior. Number 7, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. And number 6, Metroid. And again, this is top 10 all-time most popular regular Nintendo games, or if you want to use the correct term, Nintendo Entertainment System, NES. Number 5, Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse, that came out in 1990. Number 4, Mega Man 2 from 1989. Number 3, Super Mario Brothers, the first installment from 1985. I was 1 year old when that game came out. Number 2, The Legend of Zelda from 1987. And number 1, one that everybody has played if you've ever owned a regular Nintendo or ever known anybody that's owned a regular Nintendo, came out in 1990. That was Super Mario Brothers Part 3. And the first 5 that missed the list was Final Fantasy from 1990, Contra from 1988, RC Pro-Am, also from 1988, Excite Bike from 1985, and River City Ransom from 1989. And again, if you would like to read all about these video games and all about the Nintendo Entertainment System, please go to IGN.com and feel free to read it. And you can also read all about each and every one of these top 10 games that I just named. So again, this week's top 10 countdown comes courtesy of my buddy Eric, who actually asked me to do this right after I posted last Wednesday's top 10 countdown. I know that I say all the time that I'm always up for taking suggestions, and right after I posted last Wednesday's, he suggested this, so I thought, you know what? I'll go ahead and I'll do it. If you have any ideas on top 10 countdowns, please feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. How was Rome split in two? With a pair of Caesars. And that wraps it up for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.